What is going on, everybody? And welcome back to the Fourth and Wrong podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Marshall, along with Colin, Dallas, and Nani. The championship round, AFC and NFC championship games have wrapped up. The Chiefs and the Eagles will move on to play in New Orleans for Super Bowl 59. What a season. Obviously, it's crazy that we're coming down to the last 2 weeks and football's done all the way up until September. I mean, obviously, you got the draft, you got training camp, preseason, stuff like that. So football really sticks around, but we aren't going to get to watch a game of real football unless we start doing a podcast on the USFL. So that would be some wild shit. But yes, so it was honestly some really good games, especially the Chiefs-Bills game, and we'll get into all the talks about the games. But all-around great games, and Chiefs, Eagles playing for the Super Bowl. Basically, I think we'll just get into the games. There's not really much else to talk about. The Eagles Commanders game looked to maybe be a decent game off the start, and then Saquon Barkley and the Eagles just rolled through everybody, and it was not even close. And they put it out of reach. I think they scored a little over 50 points. Commanders scored around 20 something. Chiefs Bills game was a hell of a game. Started off, looked like Chiefs were going to just command the entire thing. Bills brought it back, and like the last 700 years that we've seen with the Bills Chiefs, a little exaggeration, but ended the pretty much same way as Bills coming up just a little bit short. So it's always going to be Mahomes is always going to be in Allen's nightmares. But great games all around. A lot of complaining from social media, obviously, about the reffing in that Chiefs game, as you're going to get with a Chiefs game. I mean, that's just how it is. I didn't really, in my personal preference, I didn't see anything wrong with it. There were a couple like, maybe he got the first down, maybe not. So I want to turn it over to someone else, because for a minute there I was talking and not a single one of you were looking at the screen, and it was pretty awful. So you know what? You guys got the floor. Go ahead. Someone else.
Yeah, I mean, pretty good weekend of games. I think obviously Bills Chiefs was you really returning the favor, huh? Bills Chiefs was
literally the entire time. I know Dallas looked like he was talking to somebody. That's fine. Colin, I just see you looking down, and Donnie looks like he's scrolling through Pinterest. I'm like, what am I doing?
Bills Chiefs was one of the best games of the year, maybe the best game of the year, honestly. I know a lot of people were shitting on the refs, but truthfully, pretty even game. Bills had a chance to win it late, couldn't do shit, so is what it is. And we're one step closer to a Chiefs three-peat, and I hate it. So
why do you hate it?
Because fuck the Chiefs.
I hate it. I hate it so much. Honestly,
you
guys are going to absolutely murder me for this one. And I know this is a hot take.
I swear to God, if you're about to say what I think you're about to say.
What do you think I'm going to say?
No, I want to hear you say it first.
I know that you guys are absolutely going to kill me for this. But I was more excited to see Ohio State versus Notre Dame and watch that game than this game. I agree.
That's not what I thought you were going to say. I just think that's...
What were you saying I was going to say?
Well, the fact that me and Donnie are on the same side right now, I don't like it.
Because you guys don't like Ohio State. Of course you guys are going to be on the opposite side.
I don't could have been anybody in there.
At least Ohio State was like, oh, dude, it's not crazy. Everyone doubted Ryan Day, and now all of a sudden that's a good storyline.
There's a couple things that I want to get into regarding what happened this last week. But the one thing I genuinely do not understand is, I understand if you don't like the Eagles or the Chiefs. That's fine. You don't have to like either team. I get why people don't like them. But to sit and act like this is going to be I hate this game. This game's going to suck. This is going to be a really good game.
No. I didn't say this game's going to suck. That's not what I said. I think the first game was amazing. I think this game will be good, especially with the stat I was actually going to bring up.
You're saying you're not excited to see it.
I am excited to see it, but I also don't want to see it at the same time. I wanted to see something new. I wanted to see the Bills get over that hump. That would have been awesome. But the stat that I was going to tell you guys was the Chiefs.
What is going on?
Sorry.
That's what
it's a TikTok. But the Chiefs have not
sure.
allowed an 100-yard rusher in the past 18 playoff games. And they play Saquon Barkley, who in the last 5 games, including playoffs, has rushed for over 100 every single game. So it is going to be a great game. I just wanted to see something a little different. Now, don't get me wrong. I will be, a part of me will be happy for either of these teams to win. Chiefs is only one condition, maybe 1.5. I still do like Mahomes. So I continuing to prove his legacy and just further him up in the all-time list, I'm okay with that. Besides that, fuck Travis Kelce, fuck everybody else on that team. Except I would love, and the inner fan in me, D-Hop does deserve a ring. And it would be awesome to see DeAndre Hopkins get his Super Bowl ring. Even though, bro, is
motherfucker on that team that I'd be happy for.
I would be really happy for DeAndre Hopkins. Other side, same thing. A lot of those guys deserve it. It'd be awesome to see Saquon get one. It'd be awesome to see a lot of those guys on that team get one. AJ Brown would be awesome to get one, stuff like that. But I would be really happy for DeAndre Hopkins. But no, this will be a good game. I was just hoping we've already got it. It's like we got 2019, we got Chiefs 49ers, and then we got it again last year. And then 2 years ago, we got Chiefs Eagles, and we got it again this year. It's like, dang. I was like, even if it was Chiefs Commanders or Chiefs or Bills Eagles, I just would have rather seen something a little different, but it is going to be a good game. I think this will be way better. I want to see this more than I wanted to see Chiefs 49ers. I would rather have watched paint dry than watch that game. I did not give 2 fucks about that game whatsoever.
I think it's because we all hated football for that 2 to 3 week period.
It wasn't even that. I just knew that I didn't care for either of these teams, and they just
honestly I thought last year's Super Bowl was pretty entertaining.
No, I could have cared less for that game. I could have cared less leading up to that game.
We got to take a deep breath. This is the thing. I don't like the Niners either, and like I didn't want to see them there at all, and I was upset about football. Last year was one of the better Super Bowls we've ever seen. No. It literally went.
We've already had this conversation.
It was a good game.
No, it is not.
It was a good game.
It is not even top 5 in the last 10 years of Super Bowls.
Give me one metric how it wasn't a good game.
Okay, we've already went over this. It is not that. It is not a top 5 Super Bowl in the last 10 years. It is not.
Okay, yes, but give me a metric on how it was not a good game.
I didn't say it wasn't a good game. I just said compared to other Super Bowls, it was a lot worse than other Super Bowls. In the last 10 years, there's 7 other Super Bowls I would rather take than Chiefs.
Straight up, do not agree. I don't get that.
We literally went over this, and Dallas agreed with me. Yes, there's like 6-7 Super Bowls that are
yes,
way
and you
better
showed like the last 12 Super Bowls.
The first half was like 6-0. Like that fucking reeked. Anyways, we're not here to talk about Chiefs 49ers. But the Eagles are a lot more exciting, in my opinion. So honestly, if I had it my way, we can have it Chiefs Eagles, but I wish that you could trade, because I think Frankie Louvu needs to be on the Chiefs after his performance on Sunday, because not only was bro had a really good game, but that drive that almost I've never seen an officiating crew threaten to give a touchdown, which I don't really have any feelings towards. I don't know. I feel like that's wild, but at the same time, like I get it. Immediately thought about Madden. If you like when you're losing to someone, you just go offside 3 times in a row so they don't get like the victory formation and it kicks you from the game. I was like, I guess that is technically if you could do that in real life, but jumping over the line once was like, oh, okay, I get the tush push. Like he's gonna try to stop it. Doing it again, it's like, bro, you did not get it the first time. You were not going to get it the second time. And then he faked it again, and his teammate thought he jumped, so he went. That was unbelievably crazy. That game was entertaining, even though it was a blowout, in my opinion. Someone else got to talk.
Yeah, that was a great moment. I know all of us don't think that, but I thought that shit was. Football's weird. Where like. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people watch football for like the big plays or like fucking watching like Josh Allen and them do crazy shit, which obviously I love that too. That's awesome. Like who doesn't like watching that? But my favorite part about football more than any other sport is the gamesmanship and like the strategy that goes into it. I feel like it's the most strategy dependent sport. So watching like little chess matches like that goal line stand between the Commanders and the Eagles, I like that shit. Like people say they don't like the tush push, they want it banned. I personally really like the tush push because it's a lot of like football's so spread out now, and it's like, how do you revert that? You bunch literally everybody up and just see what happens. And I don't know. I liked it. I mean,
I get bro trying to stop it, but the first one I was like, okay, that's awesome.
I don't
Second one, I was like, bro, you realize if that did happen, they have Saquon Barkley. Like, no matter what, I'm pretty sure they were going to get into the end zone. But I respect the hustle. Like, you could just give up. So I respect trying. He's I believe Cam Chancellor's done it. Troy Polamalu's done it, I believe.
Troy Polamalu was the go at it. Like, he
Troy Polamalu was
the best
really good
ever.
at it. I know Cam Chancellor did it, but yeah, it was. But those were all on field goals, I believe, or maybe Troy's was one on a play.
Troy would do that shit at the goal line.
He did it once or twice on a goal line, which was pretty sweet.
There's a clip of him doing it to a Titans quarterback, and bro timed that shit expertly.
But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a great Super Bowl. I would have loved to seen the Bills make it, and Bills-Eagles would have been. I think like Chiefs-Eagles that's going to be a good game on this level. I think Bills-Eagles would have been right there. I think Bills and Eagles would have been a masterclass performance. I just think, I don't know, a lot would have been into that game. I think it would have been really cool to see. But this is still a better matchup than last year's, so I'll take it. I'm honestly ready for football to be done. I ain't gonna lie. I'm ready.
Done.
I'm just am. I'm gonna enjoy this 2-month break for football. I'm gonna go to Cancun.
2-month break. You mean 6, 7, 8 months break?
No, 2-month break. Because once the draft, when the draft happens, like
but that's not actual football. Like that's
no, but I get into football mode. Like I'm seeing clips actively. Like a week ahead, you see clips of comparisons, and then you see clips of the players. That's getting into football.
There's like a month break, and then we have free agency in the draft, and then there's like a 4 to 5 month dry spell where there's no football. So you get into football mode, and then it's like, all right, sit your ass back now.
Yeah, but in the summer, you start getting excited for it. So it's really just March that's like, I honestly forget about football, and I'm ready for it. I ain't gonna lie. Football has just kind of pissed me off.
Yeah, I'd get pissed off winning 10K in January too.
I don't know what. Yeah, Marshall's not allowed to talk about missing football. I hope you lose
your
money betting baseball this summer.
Do what?
I said I hope you lose all your money betting baseball this summer. I hope you get
I was gonna send you guys my strategy.
Bet like $3,000 on the Padres and just fucking nah.
What a wild pick. The Padres out of every team. I'm definitely ain't gonna put it on the Yankees. I promise you that. Especially if they lost Juan Soto.
And that's exactly why you're gonna lose. Thank you.
Go Juan Soto.
Yeah, go Juan Soto. But yeah, there's a lot of new hirings around the league. The Lions announced Kelvin Shepard as their new defensive coordinator, which is a huge dub and honestly an upgrade in my opinion from Aaron Glenn. I would rather.
He hasn't coached a fucking game yet, and we are calling it an upgrade.
I wanted Shep as our defense coordinator last year. I've wanted him for a while. I think he is awesome. So yes, I will take Kelvin Shepard over Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn, obviously, he goes to the Jets. Ben Johnson goes to the Bears. I don't know if that happened. That happened before last week's pod. Aaron Glenn, when going to the Jets, was news from this week. So Aaron Glenn goes to the Jets. I saw a rumor that he wants to take free agent Kindle Vildor with them. Don't see anyone saying he can't. I think because it's funny. A NFC North Facebook page that posted it, and it said in the caption, it said, the Lions are really already going downhill. Aaron Glenn is going to take standout corner Kindle Vildor to the Jets with him. Top comment.
That's how you know people don't watch ball.
Who in the fuck? Who in the fuck would ever? I was like, ain't no way we said standout corner. And then the guy under that was saying, yeah, he definitely just went to stats, saw that he appeared in at least 11 games, was like, oh, he must have been good. Because no,
stand out as in he fucking stood out there and watched motherfuckers catch balls on his head, and that's what they meant.
Seriously. Liam Cohen, I think is his name, is the new Jaguars coach, becoming a meme. of the internet.
Bro.
It's funny. Everyone gets a good laugh out of it. It's really weird though.
Bro's a cornball.
I'm not gonna lie. He did it so weird, where like, I think the only reason that motherfucker did that shit so weird is now we're all talking about that, and we're not all talking about that controversy of him getting hired, which. That shit was wild. Bro is honestly a top tier dickhead for what he did.
Cut off the Bucks.
It was literally like
honestly, how the Bucks probably looked when he did that is how Colin is looking at his computer screen right now. I just always every 5 minutes I look at Colin and it's always. I'm
gonna be real. I'm applying for that Lions job right now.
Bro literally says
right now.
Bro literally gets in here, opens the Zoom call, tells everyone to get in here. All right, we're going. Colin just sits in silence and says,
Colin said, I did my duty. I ain't going to say
someone needs to say something.
For the next 2 hours.
Yeah, the Lions Commanders game was a good game. That was 2 weeks ago, Colin. Oh, shit. My bad. But, yeah, it's I think he's going 0-17 or 17-0, and there's no in between. Like, I think he's either going to be the greatest Jaguars coach of all time or the worst. Very interesting. But, yeah, what he did to the Bucks was crazy. Straight up was like, they were like, yeah, you want an extension? All right, we'll bring you in on this date. And he was like, okay.
The highest coordinator deal in the league.
We'll give you the highest coordinator deal. We'll see you at this date. Okay, sounds good. And then the date comes, and they're like, hey, what time are you going in? And he just doesn't answer. And all of a sudden, bro's in Jacksonville. It's like, what the fuck are we doing?
It's worse than that. I believe he was supposed to come in the next day. Like, it was the next day he was supposed to be there. It was the formality of just, hey, come in and sign the contract. The news already broke. Everybody already knows. Just come in, sign the deal. You get your pay bump. And then bro said, nah, fuck you guys.
I understand.
I'm on the other side of the state. That's like a 6-hour drive from Tampa to Jacksonville or longer. Like, that's a lot. That's not like
I understand if it came up and you straight up told them, you were like, yeah, so this came up. I don't know if I'm going to sign that deal yet. I'm going to go see how this interview goes. Like, I understand that. But, like, straight up just not answering their calls. They literally tried to call him. Bro just said, nah, I'm good. Like, well,
you could tell bro just wanted to be shady about it and go meet with the owner. And then if that didn't go well, he could still go sign the extension. The only problem is it's like, bro, you got to, like, give it a gap day. You can't say, yeah, we're going to sign it tomorrow at noon when you're going to fucking go across the state and try to get a different deal. I don't know. I think the biggest loser out of that is the Bucks. Like, I always liked, what's his name? Bucks head coach.
Oh, Todd Bowles.
Yeah, I like Todd Bowles as a defensive guy, but last year that defense kind of sucked, and the offense is really what carried. So, like, Liam Cohen, I think the Bucks, as much as I like Baker and everybody, I see them taking a big step back, which fucking sucks, but I don't know. That Jags team is not going to be crazy with Trevor Lawrence and their lack of talent, so I don't know.
Anyways, laughing stocks of the NFL, they continue to be the Dallas Cowboys have decided to make their hirings. They have gone all out with their offensive coordinator or their head coaching job. They hire their current offensive coordinator. Can't even remember his name because I know his last name.
Ryan Schottenheimer.
Yeah. And he doesn't have a good track record of teams that he has not really, like, I understand he got like having bad teams here and there, being a bad team here and there, but bro actually I don't think he's ever had a winning record. And when he was the Jags passing game coordinator and offensive guy, they were the worst in the NFL. So, and then who did they hire as the defensive coordinator?
Eberflus.
I thought that was who did the Bears hire then? I thought that was the Bears. Oh,
they weren't taking from head coach to defensive coordinator. There ain't no shot.
I can't remember, but yeah. So even worse, the Bears hire Matt Eberflus as their defensive coordinator, which sometimes head coaches go to coordinators. It does work out a little bit. So we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, and then Jerry Jones comes out and makes the craziest statement of all time, talking about glory holes. Like, bro, this is a football. Like, bro's thinking about what he's gonna do tomorrow. It's like, Jerry Jones needs to be put out of football.
About what he's gonna do tomorrow. What the fuck?
Bro needs to be put out of football permanently. He is just not, and literally
at least out of the media.
How do you hire a head coach and then continue to say, yeah, we're not excited about it? Like, Wow, way to fucking get your team hyped about the new head coach.
just-
No one's going to want to stay with that team. The Dallas
tell you-
Cowboys might be the worst team in the NFL for the next couple of years. Like, they are going to be bad.
I'll tell you exactly what that Brian Schottenheimer hiring reminds me of. Remember when I believe his name was David Culley got hired by the Texans a few years back? He was the wide receivers coach for the Ravens while Lamar's there, and they have had good receivers. And he had, I believe, the 30th or the 31st ranked passing attack in the league, and got hired as the head coach of the Houston Texans. Was a one and done. That feels like what this is about.
This is going to be a
this is the one. I think this was Jerry wanted Dion. For better or worse, he wanted Dion. Dion basically told him, I can't go yet. Like, maybe, but not right now. So
well, that's not true.
Jerry just went with a guy who he can shit can after a year.
Because Dion came out and said that he will take the Dallas Cowboys job if offered. He came out and said that in a press conference. So
yeah, but a lot of it is probably money. Because another thing is Jerry hasn't. As much as we think of Jerry as like a guy who just like puts whatever he has to into the team, he's actually kind of the opposite. The Cowboys in like true cap spending are way at the bottom of the league. And think about what he does with all these coaches. As bad as like the Raiders are, they have 4 coaches on payroll right now. Like they fire guys to bring new guys in if it's not working out. Which, better or worse, like they're at least fucking trying. You know, at least there's that. The Cowboys, they don't do that. Jason Garrett fucking sucked. They just let his contract run out. Then they hire Mike McCarthy. Shit wasn't going well. Instead of firing halfway through the year and getting a jump on the head coaching search, Jerry just let his contract play out. Like, he doesn't fire guys. Like, he just lets their deals go out. Whether he wastes a year or two of the team, he doesn't really give a fuck because he's like, I think he just doesn't want to pay a coach to not coach. I don't think he likes that idea or fucking whatever, because it's Jason Garrett should have got fired towards the end of his tenure. Mike McCarthy should have got fired halfway through this year. Like, there's no explaining it other than he's just being frugal.
Agreed.
Speaking of Mike McCarthy, though, I don't know if you guys saw, probably not because it happened while we were recording, but Mike McCarthy is apparently pulling out of consideration for New Orleans, and Kellen Moore is rumored to be the top candidate there. He's also saying that Mike McCarthy is overall not getting the interest that he and his team obviously hoped he would get. So that's awkward as hell.
I wouldn't even like that coaching job in New Orleans. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, but
it's a shit show.
I cannot believe Mike McCarthy.
I think he was banking on getting that New Orleans job, and now that they don't want him, nobody else wants him.
Save his career and getting the New Orleans job.
You know what? Honestly,
if you're New Orleans GM, you just got to go in there, trade every single person, release everybody, and start from fucking scratch.
He wasn't getting a job unless it was that Saints job. Let's be honest. He was not. Whoever gets that Saints job is going to be the.
I heard there might be a one and done in Chicago, so he might be going to Chicago.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Speaking of Chicago, it's funny. Out of all that news, that I could care less that Ben Johnson went to Chicago. The one thing that pissed me off was I saw a Chicago fan post that during the playoffs, the Chicago Bears fans got to enjoy every second of it. Packers got round one-ded, Lions got round one-ded, Vikings got round one-ded, and Commanders lost in the second round. And they hate the fucking Commanders because they were 4-1, and then they got that Hail Mary on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bears fans absolutely enjoyed watching the playoffs. All the NFC North teams got
from their couch.
From
their couch. They didn't even have to leave. They just got to sit right on.
We should have just sat on our couch by our performance.
Basically.
I mean, honestly, yeah.
But yeah, Pete Carroll got hired as the Raiders head coach. Honestly, I like it as a hiring. I thought it was kind of out of nowhere, but for the Raiders, I thought they were going to do a lot worse. But Pete Carroll, if you're going to bring in a guy, you got to definitely bring in a rookie quarterback. Make a good choice on the rookie quarterback. That I do agree with. You bring him in a rookie quarterback, you've got a beast of a running back. Like, we all know that. You've got, honestly, already Donnie's taking deep breaths so we don't crash out. You probably have a top 5 tight end in football. And you've got Max Crosby, you've got decent pieces. It's going to take a lot for the Raiders to get anywhere near another winning season. But I like Pete Carroll a lot. I don't know if you guys saw his press conference, but Marshawn Lynch was in the background and he yelled, "Raiders!" Raiders. And during the press conference, Pete Carroll's so old. Bro did not know who that was. He was like, oh, yeah, Raiders. Yeah, go Raiders. And then after Marshawn met up with him, he's like, wait, that was you? I didn't know that was you. It's like, yeah, bro couldn't see that far. What do you mean?
But I agree. I think Pete Carroll is going to be a good hire. The Raiders just need like a culture change, and he's going to be a good coach to do that. They probably aren't going to do anything. He'll probably be canned in 2-3 years, but
he'll retire again. I don't think he'll get fired.
Well, he might die. He's the oldest head coach ever.
Yeah, but he's a young 74. Like, come on.
He's a young 74. But no, I think it's a good hire in the sense of a culture change because Antonio Pierce, he would have been good. He just didn't have the experience that Pete Carroll has. And I just know like Marshall said, the Raiders got a lot of building to do. And I think he'd be a good person to build with.
They currently own the 6th pick in the draft right now. So that is behind Jacksonville. Doesn't need a quarterback. Patriots doesn't need a quarterback. Giants quarterback. Browns, I would say quarterback, but a lot of mock drafts don't have them taking quarterbacks. And Titans probably also are going to need a quarterback. So they're probably a 3rd, maybe 4th team that's going to get a quarterback on the board. But there is a lot of quarterbacks are scary in this draft, but there's a lot of talent. If you get what I'm saying, is that quarterbacks are scary, but like there are some good talents. Like Abdul Carter, I believe his name is, the edge rusher from Penn State, is a monster. Will Johnson, even though I hate giving Michigan players their flowers, Will Johnson is a beast. He was the best cornerback in college football 2 years ago for sure. So there's a lot of good players to take, even if you don't want to go quarterback and maybe go out and get. Yeah, like there's players you can go out, like maybe Aaron Rodgers goes, because Aaron Glenn did say that they're not sure on Aaron Rodgers' future with the Jets. So there's certain players you could go out and get. I'm not saying that the Rodgers is Raiders material. I'm just saying that I guess you don't have to go with a quarterback this year. Maybe just grab a free agent and take Arch Manning next year, but they have options.
I think the Raiders hire. As soon as it was announced, I was like, that's a solid hire. And the more I thought about it and the more I saw stuff, I think it's going to be complicated. I think for what it's going to be, I think Pete Carroll has a shot to be the most successful hire out of any of these guys. Not in terms of like team success. I don't think the Raiders are going to win a Super Bowl in the next 3 years, but I think they're going to go from 4 or 5 wins to 8, 9, being in a playoff conversation every year with a legit coach in Pete Carroll. And
the shitty thing for the Raiders, they are not in they're in one of the toughest divisions in football with
that's the problem.
With the Chargers now. Like Jim Harbaugh's going to be going into his 2nd year as a head coach. They already made the playoffs. Give this man some weapons. They're going to be good next year. The Broncos also made the playoffs. They're going to be. Sean Payton looks good. They're going to be good next year. It's a division full of old ass head coaches who are getting trying to get their second prime. Some of them who are, I guess not Andy Reid. He's had a lot of primes. He was good with the Eagles and obviously with the Chiefs dynasty. But Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton, Pete Carroll. That's the shitty part, is that he could be an amazing head coach and he'd still be 4th in the division.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is what the Raiders' idea is, whether they say it or not. I think. They gave Carroll a 3-year deal, which is less than what most coaches get. Usually it's 4 or 5 years. And I already talked about this with Riley, who's a big Raiders fan. I was like, what you do is you bring in Pete Carroll, you bring in whatever offensive defensive coordinator that he likes from his old staff, whatever it is, like guys, like proteges, and then the next 2-3 years, you just build those guys up, and then Pete Carroll rides off to the sunset after his deal's up. Those guys take the reins and kind of just continue on with the program. I think that's kind of the best way to do it. That way you have some coaching stability along with kind of setting up team stability. Not only that, but that division isn't going to get any easier. Like Mahomes, Herbert, maybe Bo Nix, if he turns out to really be a guy, isn't going anywhere. But there is some uncertainty coming up. Like the Chiefs obviously run that division, but they're not going to be good forever. I see once Travis retires, whether that's this offseason, next offseason, like it's coming sooner than what we think. And then Andy Reid's also getting up there in age. So it's not like within the next 5 years, the Chiefs could look very, very, very different. Wherein that timeline that I laid out, where like if you have a coordinator that's taking the reins by year 1 or 2 of his tenure, you would be kind of aiming to be making the playoffs, to be a serious team. So I think the Raiders made the best hire they possibly could have. I will say that.
I agree. Pete Carroll he should be decent for them, and him taking a break is decent. So really, the only head coaching position that is still vacant is the Saints head coaching job. Almost all head coaching jobs have been vacant, but that is a dumpster fire of a job.
I'm about to send my resume. There's a 50-50 shot they give me a call.
I was going to say, 60-40, I'd definitely say. There's the cat. Honestly, the GM is like the craziest job because you got to deal with whoever runs their accounting department. I'm so sorry for you because they're firing people every single year. It's like, bro, we are still negative $50 million in cap. That's insane. So I love Brad Holmes is because we have been so smart with our money. We aren't going out and spending, I don't know, $20 million a year on Trey Flowers. Oh yeah, who would ever do that? Bob Quinn. So yeah, that's an awful.
Did you guys see the report that came out that when Aaron Glenn interviewed with the Saints, he requested that Mickey Loomis, their GM, be fired so like he could bring in his GM, and that's when the Saints like took Aaron Glenn off the board, like they weren't gonna hire him after that. Because Mickey Loomis, he is a good GM. The only problem is, like, he's so good at maneuvering the cap that he's put them in this big of a fucking hole.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to realize the position you're in, you have just got to burn it down. You got to get rid of all these shitty contracts. All these old guys got to go. I'm sorry, but they all got to go, and you just got to start from scratch. Like that is just.
If I was the Saints, I'm either hiring like an old, like Mike McCarthy. I'd give Mike McCarthy like maybe just because he's not the guy. Like if he's coaching your program 5 years from now, you're not a serious team. I'd either go with someone like him who like people respect, or I would go with just like a super young guy, like a guy that's like, hey, he's 2 to 3 years away from being a head coach. But then you just kind of let him get out the rookie coaching stuff while you suck, and then year 3, 4, 5 of his tenure, like you're actually in a position to do well once the contracts are up. But
this is saying that they are $50 million in cap, but they are projected to be $65 million under the cap by the end of next season, unless a huge change is made. But they have these old guys. Derek Carr, Demario Davis, Cameron Jordan that have huge cap hits and just eat it. Like, just get these guys out of here. Get the old talent out of here and rebuild this team. Someone needs to come in and make a change, man, because it ain't working right now.
Real quick.
I wonder if you can.
Okay, go ahead, Daniel.
No, I was just gonna say, like, we've seen it with coaches. Like Mickey Loomis, for all things considered, how bad their cap is, he is a good GM. Like he is a respected
salary cap.
So like, I'm wondering, like, can you, if you're a team who needs a GM, can you trade for a GM? Like I know that's kind of weird because like GMs make trades, so like you would kind of be trading.
Much would Brad Holmes be worth?
Like the owners would have to step in and do it. But like Mickey Loomis, he's too good to get fired. But right now, like the Saints do just need a reset. So it's like, I wonder if you could really, like, if you're the owner of the Saints, just like send him away for like a second round pick. I wonder if that's even possible.
Else.
I'm just curious where the Mike McCarthy hate comes from. Like, I'm just curious.
He's just never. I don't hate him, but I don't like him
by any means.
In what terms? Like,
I mean,
football terms.
Like, the Cowboys kind of shit the bed. Not this year. This year was injuries. Like, whatever you want to call it. This year, just throw out this year. The last 2 years, he took them to 12 wins, took them in air quotes, and then they shit the bed in the playoffs. It's like, okay. And then back on his tenure with the Packers, like, you had prime Aaron Rodgers, and you won 1 Super Bowl and choked in all those NFC Championship games, which is on Rodgers as well. I'm not putting that all on Mike, but, like, you are the coach for those games. So I don't think he's, like, the worst coach of all time, but, like, he's one of the worst coaches that won a Super Bowl in our lifetime, for sure.
I'm just How does a guy that has more playoff wins since 2016 than Mike Tomlin get hated on like this? Like, bro had 3 12-5 seasons in a row and a
Yeah.
playoff win. Like,
Like,
multiple
he's had
times winning the division. Mike Tomlin hasn't done that since 2016. Won a playoff game at least. Like, I
yeah,
just
but
He hasn't even
if you
won.
switch,
I don't.
if
He
you
hasn't-
switch Mike Tomlin and Mike McCarthy though, the Steelers with Big Mike would be lucky to win 3 games, and the Cowboys or Packers with Mike Tomlin would be fucking Super Bowl, like
He
in the
has
Super Bowl.
what, one playoff win?
he
Big
won 2 playoff games in 2016 and then one in 2022.
Well,
That's-
that was with the Packers.
I mean, still.
I was just thinking about the
2016.
Cowboys tenure.
Yeah, one playoff win with the Cowboys, but that was against Tom Brady.
Yeah, I don't think he's.
Oh,
I don't
Yeah,
know.
but that was also not like
To be fair,
Bucs team's not good.
I'll tip my hat to Mike. I think a lot of it's Jerry Jones's fault, so I can't, I guess, put all the blame on him if I were to. So, yeah, I'm not gonna kill him for it.
I just gotta say, at some point, like, winning games gotta matter.
Colin, your input.
I'm just kind of here.
so. So I'll kind of segue into this next one. So
Segue.
if you think Big Mike's kind of shit on, even though all he does is win, what's your feelings on Nick Sirianni? Because I don't know who you want to label as the biggest winners from this weekend. I think Nick Sirianni is like maybe the top winner from this weekend. That man was on the hot seat all year. They started off 2-2, and the Philly media
I don't
wanted.
think that man was on the hot seat for anyone except the fans. There's no shot the GMs were actually
He was-
considering getting rid of that.
If you look at reports, he was 100% on the hot seat.
No,
People
there's
in
no
Philly
way.
hated him.
There's
People
no
were
way to put him on the
hating
hot
him,
seat. He did fucking. It was
Okay,
amazing.
Marshall, but this is the thing. If the rest of the league is kind of like, he's all right, like, people think he's dumb. Like, the national media says he's a big dumb dipshit. Like, I don't know if you can find somebody who doesn't think that.
Yeah,
but that's like
he
the
wasn't.
national media's outlook. And then the fans all hate him. Like,
Who
I
cares
would
though?
say
But
that's not-
they're not gonna care about the fans. I don't think he was anywhere. I think that was all speculation. I don't think he was.
I
anywhere
think he
near
was on the
seat.
hot seat. I think it was
Well,
pretty.
how did that turn out?
I think he's still on the hot seat personally.
That's
Just,
what I'm saying. Like,
like,
Y'all
I-
are insane.
like I
you're
don't like.
insane for thinking he's not on the hot seat.
He is
honestly.
not on
Like,
the
he was
hot seat.
on the
I'll say this: Nick Sirianni wins football games. You can't deny that. He is a winner in that aspect. I think he's still on the hot seat because if the Eagles as an organization would fire both Andy Reid and Doug Peterson for not winning Super Bowls, and he goes to 2 Super Bowls and loses both of them, at some point you're getting put on the hot seat, whether it's because of like just you can't win us the Super Bowl. Like, I think Nick Sirianni, I don't like him as a person. I don't like him as a coach, but he wins games. Like, I can't deny that. But in terms of the hot seat, Philly fans and like they're short-minded. If you don't win
They
right
fired
now,
Andy Reid because he.
Short-minded. That's a
They-
crazy way to put
But
They
fired
are.
Andy, they fired Andy Reid because
Nah.
he wasn't doing shit, and but Nick Sirianni hasn't had a year where he's not doing shit. Literally, Andy
I
Reid.
mean, I think last year would be pretty well described as not doing shit.
no, Andy Reid got fired after 2 shit years. Like,
Andy
It's just-
Reid mainly got let go because, like, it was just time for a change. Like, he was a great coach, but, like, eventually you
doesn't-
just hit a wall.
well, it doesn't help they had 2 losing seasons in a row. Like, you're gonna probably get fired after 2 losing seasons. If Nick Sirianni has 2 losing seasons, he's probably.
I mean,
gonna get
yeah,
fired.
but Mike Tomlin has had a losing season, and people were calling for his head. It's just, after a while, like, you
because
can have
bro
a-
just has a winning season every year and then loses
that's
in
what
the
I'm saying.
playoffs.
You can have a great coach and, like, kind of just be doing all right and then get fired. Just
They've
because,
made
like,
it to
it's
the
time for a
Super
change.
Bowl 3 times or twice in the past 3 years.
Yes, I'm not saying he's on the hot seat now. I'm not saying what Dallas is saying. I agree with Dallas. I agree with Dallas that if there's any team that will fucking forget a Super Bowl appearance faster, it's Philly. Like 100%, I agree with him there. I don't think he's currently on the hot seat. I wouldn't go that far, but like,
I'd say it depends on how
Just
this
say-
Super Bowl goes. Like, if it's a
say he
bad,
was not. to say he was not on the hot seat entering this year or like at any point in this year, I think is baffling. I don't understand how you genuinely think.
He was not.
After the way last year, Marshall, they were like 9-1 or 10-1 last year, and then fell the fuck apart. They lost to teams like
their quarterback
the Giants last year. They fell to shit and then got fucking beat pretty handedly by a Bucs team that's not like amazing, but like they got beat pretty fucking handedly. I think they lost.
Like answering like both Andy Reid and Doug Peterson's were deserved firings. Like they played like shit, and like Nick Sirianni hasn't given anyone any.
Yes, and I would say coaching is a big part of that. like dropping 2 of 3, like being the Vikings and dropping 2 to end the year. That's different than losing. He literally lost like 5 of 6 or 6 of 7, and the teams he lost to were not like insane. Like he lost.
Because I'm looking at it.
He lost to the block-led Seattle Seahawks on a fourth quarter drive. Like,
Andy Reid's last 2 years in Philadelphia, he went 8-8 and 4-12, and then Doug Peterson's last 3 years in Philadelphia, 9-7, 9-7, 4-11 and 1. So yeah.
Hey, one of those 9-7s, he won the division. So I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, that's just due to a shitty division. Honestly, that's terrible.
Yeah, I'm not.
And then Nick Sirianni has gone 9-8, 14-3, 11-6, and 14-3. I'm not saying I see you guys are making me sound like I like him and he's a good coach. I'm just saying to ever say that I don't think he was ever on the hot seat. I think he just waved goodbye to the fans, his own fans, and the media put him on. You guys can't believe everything you guys see in the media just because reports say so that he was on a hot seat. Like you got, it's just he was not on a hot seat midway through the season with a winning record, winning their division. Like let's be fair.
Yes, and when I said he was last really on the hot seat is when they were 2-2 this year. Like they weren't doing fucking well. Like they started off after the way last year ended, they were really fucking clamoring for Bro's head. Like,
yo, you're reaching with that one.
I don't want to be a dick, but like literally just Google it. Like literally, like people don't like.
You can Google anything.
I'm not saying. Saying
don't
that.
believe everything you see on the internet.
Yeah, because you know what? Actually, the Lions hired.
Did you hear it from them personally?
Hey guys, we better not listen to that at all because like. Who's Ian Rappaport really? Who the fuck is that guy? Like what?
You find me the tweet that said Adam Schefter said that Nick Sirianni was on the hot seat. Maybe I'll believe you.
Stupidest fucking combo we've ever had. Nick Sirianni was on the hot seat. It is common sense. He was on the fucking hot seat.
He wasn't on no hot seat. You guys are just thinking too hard.
I literally just Googled Nick Sirianni hot seat. The first article, NBC News. This head coach was on the hot seat. Now he's 1 win away from the Super Bowl.
Like, geez, I don't understand what the fuck we're saying. Like, yes, he, by all accounts, he was on the hot seat.
So he's on the hot seat for what, 1 week?
The entire last offseason, by the way the year ended.
Because what were they?
Like,
11.
And honestly, if that's the case,
11-1.
On the hot seat
last year, I think they were 9-1 or 10-1. And then dropped like 5 of 6 to end the year. And they lost to teams like the Giants, the Cardinals. They lost to
twice.
Yes, like they played like fucking dog shit. And then they didn't get like blown out in the first round or in the wild card game.
They lost to the Bucs.
What was the score on that? I know it was very like handily, but I don't think it was like
32-9.
Yeah.
Never mind. It was a fucking ball. You, Marshall, just look at that little game script at the end and tell me a coach that would 100% not be on the hot seat.
That's not the right score. I take it back.
Okay. We're doing the draft once again, but this time 1v1. Everyone gets to build their own team. After last week's incident, I can't.
Colin's going to contribute in one part of this video, and it's this. This is the one thing that Colin's going to contribute in this entire video.
I think I'm gonna try and draft the worst team possible.
I think you need to retire from the Fourth and Long podcast.
Colin, hey, give Colin credit. He hit record.
Can I draft Billy Cannon for every single position?
He doesn't even hit record. Dallas hits record.
All right, Colin. Yeah, you might as well just leave, bud. That was. I thought you at least hit the record button.
No, that's Dallas. He just starts the Zoom call and then sits here.
Yep.
Applying for jobs. It'll be worth it if you get the job.
It will be. Yeah.
All right. So what order do we want to do?
I'll go first.
Okay, Colin goes
We
first.
can do snake draft if you want.
Sure, it won't really matter, but okay.
Non-podcast related, but Colin's
That
gonna
only
as soon
matters
as this is
to me.
over. Where do you apply to something like that, Colin? Like, where did you did you have to do it on like a Lions website or like?
I saw it on LinkedIn because I am connected to one of the team photographers on there, and he reposted it saying that the Lions were hiring, and I've been waiting for literally any position to open up with the Lions that I could.
Would you move to Detroit if you got a job like that?
Oh yeah, I mean probably maybe not like Detroit, but I would
downtown,
closer.
like
I'm not
downtown Detroit.
No,
8 Mile.
you think I can afford
8
to live
Mile.
downtown?
You can afford to live in 8 Mile.
Yeah.
This is a bigger question, God. Would you take a pay cut to go work for the Lions rather than what you're doing right now?
No, I would need it to be at least a lateral move pay wise.
I'd take a pay cut.
I would take.
It depends on how bad of a pay cut.
You
I would
you
take
pay-
a reasonable pay cut.
I would pay
Like,
them.
if it's like a couple thousand a year, then maybe.
Depends on what
Like,
I'm
if it's
doing.
like I'm
If
making
I'm making-
54,000 right now. If they were like, we can offer you like 35K, I'm like, no, fuck that. That's $20,000 less.
If I'm making like
Oh, you
70,
told the world what he made.
if I'm making like 70,
This isn't
and they
making
offer
it
me,
in.
and they offer me
Bullshit.
55, I would have to take it just to say I work for the Lions. I'm not gonna lie.
Depends on what I'm doing, I guess.
They could pay me in a fucking peanut butter jelly sandwich.
Yeah,
I'm
agreed.
there.
Especially if I'm on the field, like if I'm on the field, like catching passes, water boy, stuff like that, bro. You don't gotta pay me
Bro,
that
getting
much.
hired as a fan? What the fuck are we talking about?
Instead of water boy.
All right. We're doing the draft. Colin wants to do it as Snake, I guess. I guess that.
I was kidding.
Oh, okay.
That was
Fuck.
serious.
I guess then.
We're doing it as a snake. Fuck it. Colin brought it up. We got it.
Established obviously the ground rules. Wheel spin determines which team you can pick a player from. You cannot duplicate players. So if Colin gets the Patriots and gets Tom Brady, you can't roll the Bucks and also get Tom Brady. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. You get a quarterback, running back, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and 1 defensive player. Colin, you're gonna be starting us off.
I legit kind of want to draft the worst team possible.
This man got back-to-back Titans. He got Titans the first time last episode and gets Titans again.
Okay,
fuck?
this is the moment where I decide: do I go for
Do you go
the,
Billy
the
Cannon or
jokes and go
Derrick
Billy
Henry?
Cannon here? Or do I go Derrick Henry? I'll go Derrick Henry. I'll try.
Okay, Derrick Henry at your running back spot. I guess I'll go next. And
So
then-
you can't. I know. I'm just clarifying so I can.
so if you
remember
get the
it.
Ravens, you can't pick Derrick Henry.
Okay.
So I'll go second, Marshall third, Donnie fourth, and then we'll snake back Donnie, Marshall, myself, then Colin. All right. Who we got here? You know what? I've been waiting for the Raiders.
Who's the Oakland Raiders?
Give me Jerry Rice. Give me Jerry Rice. It's one of my
Jerry
wide
Rice
receivers.
on the Raiders, correct?
No, it's prime. It's
Nah.
prime.
Nah, you didn't specify that. I'm imagining Raiders Jerry Rice.
Nah, give me prime Jerry Rice.
Connor
Marshall, your
Cook was
spin.
in play. What are we
He
doing?
was in play.
Can we mute Colin?
No, I have the power.
Off that alone.
It's a quarterback, a running back, 2 wide receivers, tight end, and defensive player.
Correct.
I just wanted to make sure.
Kirk Cousins in play here.
Ooh, man, let me
Michael
jump on
Penix
that.
Jr. in play here.
Can I get Tony Gonzalez?
Tony G. As your tight end, we are here with Donnie. He gets to choose from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Ooh. Do I go with who I liked, or do I go with who is probably the best play?
Kenny Pickett's available.
I can go with the fun team. No.
I saw that meme this morning that Kenny Pickett's got more playing time in a conference championship game than the Cowboys have in the last 20.
Did you guys know that
ruined my day?
Kenny Pickett has more NFC championships than Tom Brady, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen all combined? I mean, hey.
I mean, Brady's got one.
Yeah, or it's the same amount.
Okay.
Same amount, not the same amount. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Reggie White for my defensive player. I feel like that's probably the safest pick.
That's a pretty safe pick, but we're going right back to you, Donnie. Ooh.
Huh.
Indianapolis Colts.
Wonder who I'll go with for this one.
Anthony Richardson, you won't.
Andrew Luck.
Ooh, Andrew Luck. I mean, shit.
We're going off their hype out of college.
You can go
I
Harbaugh.
honestly do like Andrew Luck a lot. If Peyton Manning didn't exist, I probably would have went.
Matt Ryan. Colts legend Matt Ryan.
Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco.
Oh, Matt Ryan.
I mean, fuck, I could go Dan Orlovsky. He fucking played for the Colts at one point.
Do it.
No, give me the Sheriff.
All right, Marshall, you are up. You have tight end already selected.
Your choice.
And you got the Bears. The Bears.
Got a
Man.
choice.
This is tough.
Honestly.
Jay Cutler's in play. Jay Cutler's a goat.
There's like two choices here. We should have added a kicker to this.
Devin Hester.
That's not who I was thinking of. That's the Deshaun Jackson right there. That was the Bears.
That's worse than Deshaun Jackson.
I hope I get the Eagles so I can pick Deshaun Jackson again.
I hope you do too. I hope you do.
I'll go Walter Payton.
All right.
I didn't want to, but I guess.
Didn't want to.
I thought about going Brian Urlacher, but I felt.
That's not bad.
Urlacher is not. It's pretty sneaky. All right. Who we got? Ooh, Dallas Cowboys. You know what?
Bobblehead Colin.
What?
Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush available. I'm actually really torn on who I want to get. I think I can get a better running back than Emmitt Smith. I'm gonna go Michael Irvin. I'm gonna double up on my 90s wide receivers.
Michael Irvin over Emmitt Smith is a crazy.
Yeah.
I think I can get a better running back.
I have
think
always said I thought Michael Irvin was a little overrated.
Yeah.
He made Troy Aikman a Hall of Famer. What are you
I was
talking
gonna
about?
say I've always thought that too, but like to be fair, he had Troy Aikman throwing him the ball, so I'm kind of, yeah.
All right, Colin. The Browns.
You should have went with a joke play, dude. Stick up the Titans and the Browns back.
Oh my god.
You got some options here, honestly.
This is not bad.
This could be worse.
Honestly, I think you got two choices. You could have had two funny guys.
I could have.
Had Jameis. I mean, Jameis
I
might
could
not
have had
be a bad
Jameis
pick.
Winston.
Jameis might not be a bad pick.
I don't know. Jameis can't be your best option. Is all I'm saying.
Oh, god damn.
Yeah, the worst part is Colin's gonna fuck this up. I know he is.
I totally am.
There's only one choice. This motherfucker.
I don't even know.
You go with offensive lineman?
Josh Cribbs. Yeah, offensive line would be crazy.
Joe Thomas.
I'm gonna take Joe Thomas and put him at my running back.
Clay Matthews played for
I already have a
Clay
running back.
Matthews.
Oh, you already have your running back?
Yeah, I took Derrick Henry first overall.
Yeah, never mind. You're cooked.
Yeah, I was gonna
I was
say
gonna
that's
say
why I was
Nicole-
like, because I was gonna. You were thinking Jim Brown, weren't you?
Yeah, I was like, this is the only person you could pick that's
Yeah.
like worth the name.
Tim Couch.
Do I go defense here and go
I think
Mark
that's-
Garrett, the helmet slinger himself?
That might be your best option.
I think that might be my best option. I'm gonna go Myles
Ding.
Garrett here for defense.
Man, Jadainian Clowney played there.
Oh,
Miles Garrett's way better.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Yeah, it was a joke, guys. Goddamn.
Good news, Colin. The wheel comes right back to you.
I hope
Go,
he's
go
gonna
Browns
be-
again.
another bad team.
The Falcons. Showing the Falcons some love.
Julio.
Okay, right to the point. I like it.
Too bad Deshaun Jackson didn't play for the Falcons.
I know.
Did you pick your defense player, Colin?
Yeah.
That's what he just did,
Oh, I
dumbass.
wasn't listening.
Bro,
Kansas City Chiefs. Give me Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, I thought it was my
Damn.
pick. I got so excited. I was like, yeah. Oh, wait. I forgot Dallas was playing.
Give me Patrick Mahomes. Marshall, back to you. The Saints, your
If we do
team.
another round of this, I'm doing an all MSU player team.
I believe you could, honestly.
I'm glad we're not doing another round. Drew Brees.
Drew Brees.
Shut up, Colin. I heard that. Colin's like, damn it, you're still on the board.
Donnie, your pick. You got the Denver Broncos again.
fuck.
Max Speedy's available.
Shut up.
Oh, wait, he's not. He played for the Rough Riders. I really can't look like such a bitch.
I mean,
Run
I
your
know we're
ass
looking
over.
up Philly candidate right now.
I feel like there's an obvious pick, and then I got a sneaky pick. I don't think there's any wide receivers really worthy of drafting here.
I know who I would pick.
I feel like you're thinking of the obvious choice I'm thinking of.
CJ Spiller.
Oh, I'm a dumbass. Shannon Sharp.
That's who I was thinking of. Who
Well,
are you thinking?
I still have running back. I was thinking Terrell
CJ
Davis.
Spiller.
No, I was thinking
Spiller.
Terrell Davis. I'm glad I looked at tight end and remembered Shannon Sharp because I was thinking Terrell Davis, and then I was like, a real sneaky pick that I might get killed for was Jamal Charles. But if I would have went Jamal,
Yeah, you would have
Charles,
got killed,
Sorry.
Jamal
Yeah.
Charles.
That would have topped Deshaun Jackson, I think.
I don't know
I
if
was
it
like-
would have topped. It'd
I
been
was
up
like,
there.
how crazy is Jamal Charles over Terrell Davis? But yeah, good. Yeah, Shannon Sharp would have been fucking crazy to pass.
Going right back to you, Donnie. Running back and 2 wide receivers left. Going with the Broncos again. There's no way.
Damn, that hurts.
Terrell Davis.
Terrell Davis is still on the board. Jamal
Jamal
Charles.
Charles.
Oh, man.
I don't want to waste my running back on one of those two.
Emmanuel Sanders. is on the board.
Whoa.
Fact.
Demarius Thomas on that one play with Tim Tebow.
Jerry Judy.
Jerry Judy.
Stokely down the sideline.
I'm thinking of a wide receiver, but you guys would probably fucking kill me if I picked this guy.
Can't be that bad.
Benny Fowler. MSU legend. Benny
I was
Fowler.
about to say MSU legend.
I mean, I'm really trying to think here. Terrell Davis is the safest pick.
Steve Atwater.
No, I gotta go with Terrell Davis. I mean, there's just not a good enough wide
Were
receiver.
you thinking Brandon Marshall?
No, crazy enough. I think you guys forgot he even played here. I was thinking Wes Welker.
That's would have been worse than Deshaun
I was
Jackson.
thinking-
That would have been
I was
so
thinking-
bad.
That would have been worse than Deshaun Jackson.
That definitely would have been
No.
worse than the John.
No, because my thought was like, I try to build it as like a normal team. So I'm like, I could pick a Wes Welker, but then I need like Calvin Johnson to offset that shit. So
No, that would have been worse than Deshaun Jackson.
no, it wouldn't.
All right, Marshall, your turn. You got 2 wide receivers and a defensive player left. The Texans.
Oh, sorry, 2 wide receivers and defensive.
Yes.
Give me J.J. Watt.
J.J. Watt. What a pull. All right. I have a running back, tight end, and defensive player left.
Boo!
Green Bay Packers. Ooh.
I would like to remind you that Reggie White is off the board.
He's off the board. Ah.
Jamal Williams.
Man, I don't know. Prime Eddie Lacy here might be the pull.
Maybe in a cheeseburger eating competition.
God.
What was it? Like he's a Popeye's biscuit away from being a tight end?
That was Kelvin Benjamin.
That was Calvin Benjamin? Damn.
Yeah, which is even worse because he's a wide
That's so
receiver.
funny.
You gotta stay in decent shape. At least a running back, if you're gaining fat, you're at least gonna gain some power with it, and you could be hard to tackle.
God, that shit was so funny. He's a Popeye's biscuit. Booger McFarland not fired immediately after that quote.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Gosh. I don't. Honestly, I think I gotta go Clay Matthews. In all honesty.
Oh,
But I feel like I'm missing somebody. I'm gonna take the L on Clay Matthews. I feel like there's somebody better, but
God. Can I shout out who he missed?
Yeah, Kevin King.
No, you missed. You missed. Charles Woodson would have been.
Ooh, Charles Woodson would have been good.
It's not terrible.
Michigan man. Can't believe you got Charles Woodson.
Thank goodness.
To be fair, I was just so stuck in the box of like who was in the box. I was
You
just,
know,
Yeah.
just
I
random,
never think of-
random thought. I think I know where I got my Michigan hate from. Because I remember as a kid, my dad always would tell me he was pissed because he grew up a Peyton Manning fan because my dad's side was from Tennessee. He was pissed that Charles Woodson got the Heisman over Peyton Manning. So maybe that's where it stems out of. But even though Charles Woodson, he deserved it.
all right, Colin, you got a quarterback, wide receiver, and a tight end. Going with the Dallas Cowboys.
Tight end, I'm going with Jason Witten.
All right,
Quick
Jason
with it.
Witten.
I was waiting for him to pick Troy Aikman. I really was. I done lost my shit.
All right, Colin, back to you, quarterback and wide receiver. Ooh, the Colts.
Damn.
Can't
Austin-
take Peyton Manning.
Austin Collie is an option.
You're a bitch.
What does he
You're
have
a
left?
bitch, Tommy. I have
Quarterback and
and
wide
wide
receiver.
Austin
I mean-
Collie.
It's not that bad.
It really isn't that bad. Colin, you should have already said your guess by now.
let me go Marvin Harrison.
There we go. All right. Leaving the quarterback up to the last spin there, Colin. I like it.
I can't wait
like
to see
it.
who I get.
I have running back and tight end left. And I got the Packers again? What?
Uh,
Fuck.
Jimmy Graham.
Honest, Colin, way to just like
You know what?
Colin.
There's no way.
Colin, how do you only give good guesses for not your turn? You just gave Dallas
That's
a
not
solid
that
guess.
good.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
for the Packers, that's probably
Colin
his
needs a
best
punishment
option,
for that.
but
That is
that's
wild
not
Listen,
work.
that good
hold
of a
on.
player.
Yes, Jimmy
Come
Graham
on.
That
was
was
really
the-
good.
He forgot Charles Woodson, Colin. Like, there was a chance he doesn't remember Jimmy Graham.
I didn't even remember Jimmy Graham.
This is, hey, Marshall. This is the punishment. We get to pick his quarterback for his final pick. Means he wanted to fucking give Dallas a big
fine.
play.
Fine.
Oh,
Go for
man.
it.
Oh, I hope we get the worst fucking team of all time.
You already got that. Oh, it's your choice.
All right, I'm taking Jimmy Graham.
No,
I cannot believe Colin.
you just hand him that.
Bro, the trivia will be best Lions players of all time, and Colin will say Drew Brees. But this motherfucker's giving out great answers for not his pick.
Jimmy
Oh,
Graham was such a wild pull too. Just spin for me.
That was a wild
wild pull.
Marshall, you got both wide receiver slots open, and you also get the you get the Titans. I thought you got the Packers.
And
Titans.
wishes he
Team,
would've got
it's funny. The team that all wide receivers go to die.
Yes.
got some decent choices.
Didn't Colin pull Julio Jones?
I took.
He did, yes.
Never thought I'd be stumped by Colin. Trying to think. I gotta think of like people that just
think
literally
you got-
went there. And
Two good options, honestly.
I think I have a couple, but I'm gonna fuck this up.
About to go full Colin.
I could go like Kenny Britt. He is pretty.
Can he pick it?
Never.
Marcus Mariota has a receiving touchdown. Therefore, he's a wide receiver.
I cannot go with Colin, dude. I can't.
I've got two options. I feel like I'm missing one, but
You should just pick.
I don't know which one's better. Like
Just pick one. Your team's already chalked, bro.
I can decide out loud. I'm deciding between DeAndre Hopkins and Andre Johnson.
Wow.
I'll go Andre Johnson.
Man, I can't believe I just realized this. I think Colin and Marshall fucked up in this. Because they both threw the Titans, and nobody's gone Randy Moss.
He was on the Titans.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
for a year.
I just when you said wide receivers, I was like, oh fuck, Randy Moss.
Andre Johnson is he's awesome, so I'll be all right.
All right, Donnie, you also have both wide receiver slots open,
No,
and you get the Packers.
fuck.
Go, Pack, go.
Go Pack, go! I'm gonna get my cheese head.
I'd rather just not play with a wide receiver than fucking have to pick somebody off Green Bay. Jesus Christ.
MSU legend.
Not the worst group of guys to pick from.
Richard Rogers.
Just cut in.
I think you realistically have three options.
I'd say there's only two or three guys.
Richard Rogers, Jaden Reed.
It's between Devontae Adams.
No.
I'd say Sterling Sharp.
No.
And then like
Darryl
Jordy
Stewart.
Nelson, Donald Driver, Greg Jennings, like those kind of guys.
Darryl Stewart.
Or Hudson.
Darryl Stewart.
Don Hudson.
Don Hudson.
I think that's the third person Dallas was talking about.
That was not what I was talking about.
Oh, it wasn't? Oh,
But Don Hudson needs
in terms
some
of how,
respect.
in terms of in his era, he was one of the best. But respectfully, Don Hudson is dying in today's NFL.
Man, I guess I'll go with the safest pick. Give me Devontae Adams.
Romeo Dobbs is on the board, not taking this.
All right, Donnie, your final spin has to be a wide receiver. The Los Angeles Rams.
You're gonna lose this if you pick.
Man, do I just rip it?
Like a Beyblade.
Man, I'm glad I didn't pull a con and immediately answer because my first thought was Cooper Cup. Not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
that's immediately where my brain went too. So
You can get.
Because mine went Tavon Austin.
That would be fucking crazy.
Hey, I thought we were going college.
I'm doing a college highlight mixtape. I fucking would dominate you guys with 15 on Austin. No. I suppose the smarter answer probably Isaac Bruce. Isaac Bruce, or what's the other one? Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt. One of those guys. I don't really know who was the better of those two, to be completely honest with you.
Sammy Watkins.
Josh Reynolds is in play here.
I'll take him if it's for the playoffs.
Fuck, I'm trying to think of like old guys who might have ended their career. Like, technically, I could go OBJ.
That first quarter of that Super Bowl was insane. Where he tore his ACL.
Can I just
MVP.
take OBJ in the first quarter of that Super Bowl because that alone? Yeah, I can't really think of.
That's Marshall's so funny.
What is he doing?
He's just waiting.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I guess give me Torrey Holt. Or I should have went Isaac Bruce. I don't know who's better. Honestly, I don't.
Torrey Holt.
Like statistically, I don't know who is the better of the two. I know they were like close.
All right, Torrey Holt. Marshall, you have wide receiver left.
To be completely honest, I meant to say Isaac Bruce. I don't know why I accidentally said Torrey Holt, but I mean, I'll eat it.
Buccaneers.
Mike Evans and Andre Johnson would be a nasty combo. Yeah, I'm gonna go Mike Evans.
Mike Evans. All right. All I have is running back left.
I looked it up. Torrey Holt is like 1,500 yards behind Isaac Bruce, so that's not the worst pick.
1,500 yards is gonna cost you.
He's not Emmitt Smith, but I'll take Saquon. And then Colin, your quarterback. Detroit Lions.
Oh,
What? What does he get?
quarterback. This is where you wanted to pick it.
Damn.
John Kitna,
Not kidding.
Sean Hill, Jeff Driscoll,
Hendon Hooker is on the board.
Teddy Bridgewater, Jake Fromm,
Tom Kennedy.
Kaya.
Tom Kennedy.
Nate Sudfeld.
Tom Kennedy. That one play.
Nate Sudfeld is on the board.
David Montgomery.
Colin,
Amon-Ra
if you
St.
pick
Brown.
Colin, if you pick Tom Kennedy, I will admit your team's better.
You guys were picking for me, remember?
Ooh. Marshall.
Okay, let's
It's-
never make that noise
We have
again.
to. We have
Bobby
to
Tom
agree
Kennedy.
on something. I don't agree on Tom Kennedy.
It's got to be Tom Kennedy.
No.
That's the only one I will.
Who's the like? Let's think. Who is the best Lions quarterback of all time? Like,
That's
is it though?
Does he have a chance?
Is it though?
It's Jared, by the way.
Because Bobby Lane.
Who's the worst Lions quarterback we've ever seen?
Jeff
our-
Driscoll was pretty bad.
Eyewitness Dan Orlovsky.
Tim Boyle.
Yeah, it's Tim Boyle.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
give-
got to be Tim Boyle.
Wait, can I get David Blau since he signed my helmet?
No, Tim
Nope,
Boyle.
Tim Boyle.
Tim Boyle.
Oh.
Tim Boyle's much worse. Tim Boyle's much worse.
All right, read off the teams.
All right, Colin.
Shout out David Blau, first of all.
Colin.
No.
I think we can all agree Colin's roster is the worst. Leading with Tim Boyle, Derrick Henry, Julio, Marvin Harrison, Jason Witten, and then Myles Garrett. That Tim Boyle one kind of set you back a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. I would have held my own if it hadn't been for the quarterback one. But it's my own fault. I'll take my punishment.
My team, you got Patrick Mahomes, Saquon Barkley, Jerry Rice, Michael Irvin, Jimmy G, shout out Colin, and then Clay Matthews. Marshall, Drew Brees, Walter Payton, Andre Johnson, Mike Evans, Tony Gonzalez, and J.J. Watt. And then Donnie, Peyton Manning, Terrell Davis, Devontae Adams, Torrey Holt, Shannon Sharp, and Reggie White.
I think it's close.
I think there's a clear winner. Personally,
And it's Colin. It's me.
I think. I don't know. I think
Even
we're
with
all,
the handicap.
I think it's honestly really close between.
I think it's pretty even. I would
think
say
it's dead
if I
even
had
between
to
all
pick,
of us. We all had like one pick that's like one or two picks. It's like it's okay.
we all.
Who's your clear winner, Dallas? I'm confused.
I think there's.
It's
I
me.
think
Shut up, Colin.
I think there's two of us that are really close, like a distant third, and then like Collins.
if
Alright.
I were
My
gonna
roster as a whole wasn't that bad.
if
outside
I
of
was gonna
quarterback.
podium it, I would have Donnie 1, myself 2, Marshall 3.
What? I think my team is much better
If I had a real
I-
quarterback,
and
where would you
who's-
have put me?
than Dallas's.
I
That
think
was
you're.
Jerry Rice and Patrick Mahomes.
I think
Clay
my wide
Matthews, I have
receiver's
JJ
clear.
Watt.
Yes, I think Clay Matthews is obviously his.
I beat you out in defensive player. I beat you out in tight end. Michael Irvin, Jerry Rice, yes, but Michael Irvin, like Andre Johnson and Mike Evans are not going to be far behind Michael Irvin and Jerry Rice. And then who was your running back?
I had Saquon. You had Walter Payton. I think our teams are a wash. Personally,
I would say a wash over you winning for sure. I don't think you won that.
yeah, I would lean a wash.
I don't like, especially the Clay Matthews and
The Clay Matthews one
Yeah, but
sets me
You're
back.
holding
a
on to
little.
Clay Matthews too much. If you're gonna whiff on any pick, I'd want it to be defensive player.
Yeah, but I'm saying like my JJ Watt and Tony. I picked arguably one of the best tight ends of all time, and then not one of them in their prime.
He's
If we're
one
going
of
off
the best.
If we're
He's
going
one of
off
the
prime, JJ Watt has one of the best primes of all time. So that's what I'm saying. I definitely, I don't think you won.
I don't know. I think
Who were your wide receivers again, Donnie?
Devontae Adams and Torrey Holt.
I don't think Devontae Adams. I don't think Donnie's really a clear winner either. I think we all like are washed.
Mine, the wide receivers are clearly the weak link.
I think Donnie at least has the second best wide receiver that got pulled though. That might be a hot take. I don't know, but I think Devontae Adams is better than everybody except Jerry Rice.
I can't remember all the wide receivers that got called.
Julio, Marvin Harrison, Michael Irvin, Andre Johnson, Mike Evans, Torrey Holt.
It's debatable.
It's debatable.
I don't think Devontae Adams is better than Torrey Holt.
If you're going by like statistically, I think Devontae Adams is. Devontae Adams has so many touchdowns.
Torrey Holt's got.
Torrey Holt
has a little over 13,000 yards. Devontae Adams has a little under 12,000 yards.
But the touchdowns, Devontae should blow him out of the water.
Devontae had like I want to check something.
Devontae had like 60 and like a 5.
I'm taking Andre Johnson over Devontae Adams, like in terms of statistical. Devontae Adams has 11,800 yards and 70 touchdowns. And Andre Johnson has 14,185 yards and 70 touchdowns.
Who's your running back though, Marshall?
Walter Payton. Who was yours?
Mine's Terrell Davis. I didn't think yours was Walter Payton. I was gonna say I don't love the.
I'll say those as a wash.
Terrell Davis is like my least favorite of my picks. Him and Torrey Holt are, but Torrey Holt is a fringe Hall of Famer, and Terrell Davis is a Hall of Famer. So like,
I think you beat me out in quarterback. I think we're a wash at. I think we're a wash at running back. We're a wash at wide receiver. Who's your tight end?
Shannon Sharp. So you have the best. I have top 4.
And then I have. And then
Why
you
is
have.
Tony
And then you
Gonzalez
have.
the best?
Statistically, I think he's pretty.
He's not probably the best, but he's better than Shannon Sharp.
I could agree to that.
I think
That's what I'm saying. I think if we're looking at it
Shannon Sharp's
realistically,
better.
I think us three all pretty much just basically tie.
Man, what's it
Those
like?
are good rosters.
Not even being a part of the debate.
If so, okay, let's
Tim Boyle
theoretically
really
say.
fucked him over.
Let's
Hey,
theoretically
Colin.
say if Colin picked Matthew Stafford, what would his roster again?
It would be Matthew Stafford, Derrick Henry, Julio, Marvin Harrison, Jason Witten, Myles Garrett.
I'm not gonna lie. That
Colin's
is
right there in the tie, honestly.
In
Honestly.
real life, if that team
Thank
was
you.
in real life, that shit would be deadly.
I really do think we all tied, like, because we all just like kind of wash each other, and then I have one player better than the other, and the other person has one player better than the other. Like me and
We all
Donnie
had
are,
like one pick where it was like,
if we're comparing
you know?
position by
Yep.
if we're comparing position by position, me and Donnie really just wash each other out. And then I
You
think
gotta
me and
you
Dallas
gotta
just
go
wash each other
by
out.
you gotta go by what would be the best team. Not gonna lie, I think my team on paper would be pretty deadly.
don't
I think
really
Peyton
know. I don't.
Hey,
I think
TB12,
I think my team on paper
12
would be
leading this
pretty
roster
deadly.
to a Super Bowl, baby.
Mike
I think
Evans,
12.
Mike Evans, Andre Johnson, and Tony Gonzalez with Drew Brees throwing him the ball.
I mean,
JJ Watt, especially in his prime, and in non-injured
Honestly-
JJ Watt would be
honestly-
fucking insane.
if we're going all primes, I think Dallas's team would fucking whoop anybody's team. Not gonna lie,
That
Mahomes,
Jimmy G prime.
not even
Jimmy Graham.
I'm thinking Saquon with Mahomes and Jerry Rice. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Like, you know what I mean? Like those.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
dead.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Who was the
agree.
other wide receiver?
Michael Irvin.
Michael Irvin.
I ain't even worried about all that. You don't
I ain't
need
even worried about all that.
You don't-
If you're going off of all of
dead.
them,
Jerry Rice, Patrick Mahomes, and Saquon. You don't even need another wide receiver and a tight end. I think those three motherfuckers.
it also just depends, I guess, on like what, like if we were to, I feel like we should change it up a little bit so we can actually do what?
We should plug these teams into Madden.
Okay. What I was actually going to say is to change it up to see like we can kind of actually see how it would actually play out. Like would this team? It's hard to say one defensive player. I say we should do defensive teams. So you pull the Rams. You pick the best defense the Rams had. You pull the Bears. The 85 Bears are up there. I feel like that because then you can actually sit there and like, all right, let's think how dominant was. Who all had that Bears team?
We could add an O-line and a defense.
I honestly, adding an O-line wouldn't be a bad idea either. So that's.
Okay.
But I think everyone kind of really tied each other. They could go any way in terms of like an all-time, like if you're looking at statistical, like I think my team statistically is all the way up there. But I agree with Donnie because I was looking at it, my team statistically I think all-time is better than all your guys' teams. But you look at in their prime playing against each other, it's probably Dallas's team. And then it's all a wash. And then you had Tim Boyle in there.
I just looked up Tim Boyle just to see like where he's at. I couldn't remember where he ended up at. And one of the first results is a YouTube video that says why Tim Boyle still has an NFL job in 2024. And the thumbnail is a picture of him, and then in big white letters next to him it just says how.
Well, we appreciate you guys for watching this episode of Fourth and Wrong Podcast. Next week, we will be covering a lot more of what predictions we've got in the Super Bowl. I imagine we'll do a little bit more than just, hey, this is who's going to win. We'll probably all take our time, go through, what we think's going to happen in certain... This man's typing while we're all sitting in a call. I had to stop the outro for that reason alone.
Who's typing?
You were typing.
You were.
No, I'm looking at what Dallas is saying. I'm not. No.
Anyways, we'll cover a lot more on predictions of what happens in the game, a lot like that, and we'll make our picks on the Super Bowl next week. If you guys did enjoy watching, please leave a like. We will see you guys next week for the last week of the NFL season. This will be a complete 2 full NFL seasons of the Fourth and Wrong Podcast after this Super Bowl week, which is crazy to think about. But we appreciate you guys for watching. We will see you guys next week. Peace.